How you guys doing? It is Wednesday, May 4th. May the 4th. I hate that. 2022 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, and it is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. Today we have the Bond Archive Sunday service on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. And it's already up on Church with Jesse Lee Peterson audio podcast, the throwback service. And it should be up on BitChute already as well. Bond Rebuilding the Man BitChute. And then later this evening or tonight or tomorrow, Bond Rebuilding the Man Odyssey and Bond Rebuilding the Man Rumble. Nice, huh? Anyway, it is Wednesday, and how you guys doing? I'm fine. We're going to talk about the abortion simps. There's a lot of them. It's ridiculous. I have a few silly clips to share with you. Howard Stern, Elie Mystal, former JLP guest. He's a frequent contributor, fat. Big old white afro hair on Joy Reid's channel. Not very joyful Reid person. And cackling Kamala Harris, whom you heard on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. I'm going to play her again. And even on the NextDoor app. NextDoor, not supposed to be political, but yes, indeed it is. And even Antifa and PDX, Portland, they're out of control. Setting fires and destroying stuff, committing crimes, all for killing the babies. What a mess. I'll cover the censorship, the agitators who are pushing for censorship, not morally straight, so evil. And also, if I have time, I will cover this J.D. Vance guy. I think I'll be able to get to that. And your calls, you can call in. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine, as I said before. You know what? Yesterday and the day before, you showed a picture, Chris, of this white guy shoving a black or a POC kid. And it was a drawing. It's a hand-drawn drawing. And I failed to point it out specifically, but I was chuckling about it during the intro yesterday. Could you dig that picture up? This is you remember how I covered that Gateway School like 2 days in a row with that 12-year-old Beatrice girl who was sharing all the different pride flags? And it was at the Gateway School, which is a New York City school for people with ADD, young kids, kindergarten through like 12th grade, I think, or junior high anyway, kindergarten through 8th grade, I guess, with learning disabilities, as they call them, handicapped kids, right? Retarded, usually, or ADD sufferers, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, whatever they call it. And one of the articles linked in this, just before I get started here, guys, one of the articles linked in this from the Gateway School, teaching the children. I think it was from the greatergood.berkeley.edu or something dumb like that. Examples of physical and verbal bullying, and it's a white kid shoving like a black with a bowl cut, or maybe an Asian with a dark skin or something, or maybe a Mexican. Yeah, that's how it goes down. Big old white kid being a bully. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. When you look at the arrest rates of assault, rape, theft, interracial violent crime, it's black kids doing it to whites, or Hispanics doing it to whites. whites are the least violent and bullying, with the exception of Asians. Asians are just go along to get along. They're good little communist, useful idiots. And by good, I mean suckers. But anyway, isn't that funny? What a mess. I had to point that out. Just this propaganda about, oh, whites are so racist. White kids, terrible. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's get right into this story here. It's not a story. Abortion, I call them simps. It's ridiculous. Abortion is baby killing, as you know. Hat tip to Pork Chop Express _86. Over there on Twitter, he tipped me off to this article from Breitbart magazine. Breitbart, whatever. Rest in peace, Andrew Breitbart. Howard Stern said, if guys got raped and pregnant, there'd be abortions available on every corner. Clip 11. I want to play this 2 minutes and 45-second clip of Howard Stern, who is my competitor. He is a radio host who's been on since I was in high school, at least, maybe before that. Not Christian, by the way. And he was known for being vulgar, and he's still vulgar, but he was known for being kind of edgy. He's not edgy. He's right in there with the establishment suckers. Here he is. Here's Howard and his co-host, female.
This all started because of this electoral college. And, I've got a real problem with this idea, the concept that the majority of the people in the United States do not get what they want. We just got stuck with three horrible choices for the Supreme Court. Because the minority view in this country is that a woman should not be able to choose. Now, if guys got raped and pregnant, there would be abortions available on every corner. Every street corner, you'd have a different clinic that would take care of the problem because...
They'd be as plentiful as porta-johns. You just go in, get your abortion, and come out.
How women vote for this agenda is beyond me. Who the wants to carry a baby that you do not want? And again, the people who carry these babies who don't want them don't raise these kids, and then we're stuck with them. Society is stuck with them. The people who are anti-abortion, they don't give to charity. They don't raise these kids. I don't know who they think's going to raise them. But, you saw men. If men got pregnant, it would be a different story. No man would want to be raped and then have to carry his rapist's baby. Men were ready to tear this country down because we asked them to wear a mask, let alone have some baby they don't want. But okay, how did we get to this point? The Electoral College says, and I guess this was set up back in the good old days, because they wanted everyone to have some kind of representation. But here's what happened. 3 million voters were the majority who voted for Hillary Clinton, but they ended up with Trump. We got a minority president who held views that were the minority of this country. So much so that he lost by 3 million votes and he became president. And then he did the country a favor and found the most radical Supreme Court justices who all agreed that abortion was wrong. They've been on some sort of secret list, not so secret list. So we ended up with this scenario. And we also ended up with it when, Obama didn't get to pick a Supreme Court justice. So, okay. So now we have a minority viewpoint in this country running the country. If it was the majority viewpoint, all right, you put up with it. But it's the minority viewpoint. Now, how much more are we going to take? How much more of this that some hillbilly in South Dakota gets a more important vote because he lives in South Dakota? Let me tell you something. Here's what I say. All unwanted children should be allowed to live at the Supreme Court building with those justices, and they should raise every one of those babies. That crackpot Clarence Thomas and that wife and all of them, they can raise these babies that they want.
What a psycho, huh? That's Howard Stern. Nasty person, huh? He's mad that we have the Electoral College, which means that we don't, just because we're overrun with people like him, blind, brainwashed people, illegals and so-called legal immigrants and refugees and masses of blind, brainwashed students of propaganda, that they get to run roughshod all over the country. So shameful. He said they don't give to charity. They give to the conservatives give to charity more than anybody, and that's not the point. The point is women have to be responsible for their own mess. And the males should be responsible too, and not being, oh, just go get an abortion. What a phony, huh? Definitely not a Christian. And what does he know about what men would do if, in this weird scenario, if men could have abortions or if men could get pregnant? First of all, that's not reality, you psycho. Typical woman-thinking person. Howard is a good representation of what a lot of these people think about us. Yeah. Typical woman-thinking person, just going into your imagination about what men would do if such and such were to happen, which is impossible for it to happen. Men are less cruel than women. It's a fact. Women are much more vicious. They're just more pathetic, so they can't mete out their violence as well. I mean, plus we have testosterone. And we're stronger. Bless you. Salud. How women would vote for this agenda is beyond me. Maybe because some women are more decent than you, more logical, more man-thinking. They don't raise these kids, lie. The people who are against abortion, they will frequently offer to raise the kids. Very frequently. It's quite common. JLP himself has offered to raise one 13-year-old girl's kid who it was too late because the so-called doctors already put like a saline solution and drowned the baby inside the mother's womb, or whatever the saline solution does. And the doctors lied to the girl. I think it was a 13-year-old girl, as the story goes, and said that the baby wouldn't feel anything and you wouldn't feel anything. But no, sure enough, over the next couple of days, she could feel the baby like struggling inside the womb. Howard has been a loser since he started. He's not funny. He needs to lose that wig. Go get a man's job. Wasn't he funny at least at one point? I think when these people are younger, they're funny. Look at that guy who never grew up. Oh, he got married? Oh. Look at that one guy who never grew up, even though he's old now. Slim Shady guy. It doesn't suit him anymore to have all that angst and be all bitter. And he used to be funnier as a younger guy. You know Eminem, the white rapper? And who else doesn't it fit? There's a bunch of people like that it doesn't fit them. I don't know who they think is going to raise them, the father and mother. Or there's plenty of people who are willing to adopt. Got to stop the gays from adopting, though. No man would want to be raped and then have to carry his rapist's baby. Another lie. Because men don't carry babies. And if they did, you would think that they would probably be more logical than the women are. Unless they were turned in. It's just a dumb scenario. Stupid. Not very Christian. Our best, and he called them the most extreme justices. No, they're not. A bunch of liberals that Trump appointed. Give me a break. They can raise these babies that they want. Rape babies, Chris says. Chris, does that ever happen? Here, come on the mic and explain this.
Yeah, their excuse that they use oftentimes, there's kind of like the checklist they go through. Like, what about a rape?
Right.
What about, there's a few more.
Yep.
I can't remember. I saw a list and it kind of went down all of those. And like basically all of them are they're all less than 1%.
Yeah.
Like
it's all for their ego.
Yeah. Rape and incest being like the most outlandish ones.
Right.
And again, that is, that was just based on one list that I saw. I don't know how big the pool they were drawing from was, but it was On this one, it was 0.01%. Like, it just doesn't happen. And the same thing with everything else. It was less than 1%. And then the main one was just like the most, I can't remember the wording that they used, but it's something along the lines of like, I just don't want it.
Right.
Like that's the
convenience.
Yeah, it's convenience or something like that.
They have a word. You're right. They do have a word for it. Elective abortions is one of the words that they use for it.
Yeah.
Where it's just, it's a choice.
Yeah, I just don't want it basically. But there's, again, on that list, there's kind of like the scenarios where it's kind of, it makes you think for a second, like, oh, did the woman kind of, not have a choice? Or then there's like the financial issue. And these are, I think this is based off of when the woman gets the abortion, they list a survey. Yeah, they fill out the survey. And again, all of these, and I think even the financial one might have been like 2% or something like that. Everything else was, everything else was less than 1%, and the only one that was, much higher was I just don't want it. Right.
Yep. Todd Akin was a Republican politician. He's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show back in like 2014, I think it was. He said, because he was questioned, what about in the cases of rape? Well, he said in like a legitimate case of a rape, a woman, well, he said that basically it's less likely to happen in a legitimate case of a rape. The woman's like body kind of resists.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why it
pregnancy.
Is so. That's part of why it is so rare.
Yeah,
like the woman doesn't actually get pregnant.
Right.
I think again, I'm not a scientist, but like the woman's state of being in the time of the deed.
Right.
Like the woman's body can reject things. Like we're God did pretty well when He was making us.
Yeah.
So.
I could believe that.
Yeah, like this stuff doesn't just happen willy-nilly. They just throw these.
They just cry rape at anything now, though, too. Yeah.
That too. That too.
What a mess. Terrible. Guys over there on Odyssey, Asmodor says, no sound on Odyssey. I think we fixed it. Hopefully we fixed it. So refresh. Let me know if... Press 1 if there's sound on Odyssey supporters. Thank you, Chris. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I zoomed in on Howard Stern's face. He's a psycho. Definitely not Christian. A couple of super chats here. Since I'm reading the super chats, John WX25 says, yet Stern's mother didn't abort his nasty lib rear. He said a different word. A word. Too bad. Whoa. I know you disavow. LOL. Yes, I disavow. Kyle B says, it's ironic that our side now has Elon Musk. This is referring to, I guess, the Twitter purchase, who is doing more to stop carbon emissions than the libertards. And also that it's our side that actually cares enough about blacks to try to stop abortions and enforce laws. Yeah, indeed. Very true. Okay, yeah, it's going again. The audio feed is going. I had to reset the stream on Odyssey 2 days in a row now. But JLP, it was working, I think. Yeah, so legitimate rape. Pretty rare for them to get pregnant. And anyway, many rape babies, so-called rape babies, have been happy that they were born and alive. Most people are happy to be alive. Anyway. Yeah, women want to play God. And female-minded males like Howard Stern. What a mess. I'll play some more mess for you guys. But first, let me get to a call. William in California is on the line, wants to talk about the Supreme Court and this abortion thing. William in California, how are you?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, James?
Fine, thank you.
Good. First of all, I got to say that it's all because they want to have irresponsible sex.
Yeah.
And get out of it.
Yep. They want to live like the men, where the men go kind of...
Correct.
willy-nilly.
Yeah.
The males, I mean.
Right.
Go willy-nilly and
That's all it
suffer
is.
no consequences.
Yeah.
The women are jealous.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
They're jealous of the worst things.
Well, talk about jealousy. I'll be mentioning that in a few minutes. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's for that irresponsible behavior
Right.
of having sex and not paying the consequences. And about this rape thing and incest thing, do you know how many babies have been killed since Roe v. Wade?
Something like
In
over
abortion?
60 million, I hear.
66 million.
Just in in America.
In America, 66 million.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you at least 50 million black. So anybody that supports that, you are evil. You're a snake. You're ridiculous. For you to sit up there and support 66 million babies dead.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
20 million. It's at least 20 million for the blacks. 19 million? Maybe more than that.
Oh, no.
You think it's
most
50?
of the abortions are black.
No, I think it's
Really.
disproportionate. It's not most. It's just way out of proportion.
It's crazy.
It may be
But,
most, but I think it's just way out of proportion.
It's pretty high for the blacks, but I can tell you this. It's a lie. And for you to support anything like that, all those people that Jesse showed on that clip is a bunch of commies. That's all they are.
Yeah.
Bunch of people. I look at them. Some of these women, I wouldn't sleep with them. I don't know what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. That is because you're having sex and you don't want to take the responsibility for what you've done 66 million times.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And speaking of the truth, there was a caller on Jesse who was speaking about Kamala Harris. Now, I'm a true believer in if you're going to say it, just say it in a truthful way. He said that he thinks that everybody's picking on the blacks with the 3 strikes law. The 3 strikes law was not brought by Willie Brown and Kamala Harris. The 3 strikes law was brought on by Pete Wilson in 1994. Governor Pete Wilson. Now,
Nice.
The reason why this happened, James, I think it could have been him or another politician high up lost their daughter to a criminal who was released.
Wow.
And that's when they brought in the 3 strikes. So this guy off Jesse says, well, what if you got 2 strikes and you're standing on the corner drinking a beer? First of all, you ain't got no business standing on the corner drinking a beer in the
And that's
public.
not a
you
felony.
Don't drink in the public.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But if you got 3 strikes, why would you be on the corner drinking a beer?
Right.
Okay.
I know.
So
and that's
that's
not even a felony. That wouldn't even count as a felony strike. That's a
No,
misdemeanor.
that wouldn't count as a felony,
Give me a
but they'll
break.
give you, if you got the 2 strikes prior, they'll add it, you're gone.
Really? A misdemeanor would
and-
count as to the 3 strikes? I thought it was
Man,
3 felonies.
Them guys get in trouble so many times
Right.
that when the judge sees them again, they throw the key away. Now, what that did do, like Jesse said, crime went down in California
Yeah.
for that 3 strikes because the drive-by shooting and the gang activity in the 80s and the 90s, that's why that thing was made. This is the first state that actually implemented the 3 strikes. I think it's one of the first states, California. And other states followed that
Nice.
to clean up their crime.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Now, Kamala Harris was the head DA in San Francisco. You want to speak about San Francisco? I know San Francisco. I know these players. That Willie Brown and Kamala with their little affair thing, yeah, of course, that was going on, whatever. Kamala Harris locked up a teenager that was not 18. I think he was close to 18. He spent about a decade in jail for a crime he didn't do. He did not commit. And I think he won a lawsuit.
I heard something like
City
that.
of San Francisco, millions of dollars. He's wrongfully convicted, and I'm surprised Trump didn't bring that up. Or was it who was debating against her? Was it
Pence?
Pence?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should have brought that up. That's first. Because
Yep.
that kid was black. Since you're so black, Kamala, which you're not at all. Just a big liar, like a lot of these black mothers. And I sent you some video about what these black mothers are doing. They're robbing all these stores and boosting and stealing all this Louis Vuitton. Now you're going to tell me
know.
they're hungry?
Yeah, I know. They're stealing because they're poor. Give me a
You're
break.
gonna call into this station after I say the truth. You're gonna sit up there and call after I'll call and put out the truth. You're gonna call and you're gonna defend that garbage.
Terrible.
And I'm gonna tell you something you got going in your chat room. There's one person that I speak with on the telephone. He's a hardworking man, works for the government. His name is Lord Grimm. I looked on a screenshot yesterday. You got somebody named Red Skull who is a liar. Talk about he spoke with me on the phone. Red Skull, you keep my name out your mouth.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's wrong, man. You don't lie like that. You don't lie.
I don't know. You deal with that in private because I don't know anything about
it
that.
already. I told him to keep my name out his mouth. He no longer has permission. You either, Maze. You don't call here behind me defending this abortion thing. 66 million babies dead. You ought to be ashamed of yourself sitting up there defending that madness.
Yeah,
Get your hair hat
she's strange
and put it on your head
on that
and
issue.
tie it tighter. It's
well,
ridiculous.
thank you, man. I appreciate
Take
it,
care,
William.
man.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
Asador states misdemeanors are not a life sentence strike. Just a little fact check there. Requires a defendant convicted of any new felony. And he links to the courts.ca.gov 20142, California's 3 strikes law. Originally enacted 1994. What a mess. And it was amended in 2012. What, to soften it maybe? Who knows? He mentioned Maze. It's only fair. Let me get to my favorite caller, Maze in Dayton, Ohio. He summoned the lady herself. How are you doing, Maze in Dayton, Ohio, the sundown town?
Hello, James.
Hey.
Wait a minute, that again. Is he about to have what you call it, breakdown or something?
Well, keep it clean, Maze. He's just heated.
You know what I'm gonna call him? A deadbeat man. That's what he is.
Deadbeat man? Come on,
Yeah.
That's a low blow.
That's what you call a deadbeat man.
How are you gonna call another? You don't know anything about him. How are you gonna
Because I
call him
always complain about
deadbeat?
women. I didn't say dad. I did not say dad. I said man.
I know, but how are you gonna
man.
call him deadbeat man?
All they do is complain about women. Don't have one and complain about them.
You don't know that. You don't know
What
anything
they're
about him.
doing, and he hadn't said nothing about all them thieves that Trump gave pardon to, letting them out of jail.
Trump
So
let
should
out
they
thieves.
still be in there for stealing?
Trump let thieves out of jail.
Yes, he let thieves out of jail.
Were they
Because
black?
His son-in-law father was,
Were they black?
What was his son-in-law father in jail for? Big money.
Wait.
What?
Were the thieves that Trump let out of jail black? Any of them?
No.
Any of them?
No.
Not one?
Yes, Lil Wayne. That's why
Aha.
you have some of them dead mean call.
You saying Lil Wayne was a thief?
No, he wasn't a thief, but he broke
okay.
the law. He should have still been in jail.
Oh.
I mean, he shouldn't have been pardoned for what he did, but he got pardoned.
Why shouldn't he get
And
pardoned?
just like all the other ones that he let out of jail, that should have been still there because his son-in-law father should still be in jail for stealing people money. And that was big-time money. He don't talk about those thieves. He want to talk about the women.
You talking about
the black
Kushner?
thieves.
Did he let Kushner's dad out of jail?
Who?
I don't know. Son-in-law's
Those
father.
supposed to be Christians.
He was let
Those
out.
supposed to be Christians. And
Oh, he just got
always
a
wanna-
pardon. He wasn't in jail. He
He
might
pardoned
not.
him?
He might not have been in jail, Maze. You
was in
tend to
prison.
say stuff that's not quite
He
true.
was in prison, James. All you got to do is look it up and see what he went to prison for.
Whatever.
Stealing
I don't
people's
care.
money. Big time.
You
It wasn't no
you
money,
say
it was
stuff
money.
that's not true. For example,
William is
can I
having a
give an
breakdown.
example for the people's benefit of something
And
that you
I am
said
giving
that was
you an
not
example.
true? And I will let
Kamala
you talk.
Harris.
Hold
He's
on.
talking
Hold
about
on,
Kamala
Maze. Hold on.
Okay, I'm
All
sorry.
right. Yeah. I forgive you. Okay, so one time multiple times, Maze said that, guys, listeners, that the woman who accused, who's that little kid who got killed, tortured and killed decades ago?
And it's true.
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till, that's
Yeah,
right.
the woman who
didn't
accused
look it up.
Emmett Till of whistling at her and grabbing her and saying, I've blinked other white women like you. Son of a rapist, by the way, a rapist murderer who got killed he got killed executed by the Army, U.S. Army, because he was in the Army doing mess, allegedly. But there was allegations that this woman admitted that she made the story up, but that's not true. That's not proven
Yes,
to
it
be
is,
true.
James.
No, one guy claimed, one so-called journalist, propagandist, claimed that she said that she took it back. But she never said that she took it back, nor did her daughter say that she took it, or daughter-in-law say that she took it back. So you're making a claim that may not be true.
It's just like George Wiley's daughter admitted the stuff her daddy was doing, and she talked about it with her own mouth.
George Washington's daughter?
I said George Wallace.
George Wallace's daughter.
Yes. Yeah, she admitted what her dad was doing too. But them DMBs,
you can't trust you can't trust. I'm just showing you that I'm just showing the people that Mays says stuff that is unconfirmed.
No, James. See, somebody called me a racist this morning, like I care. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings. They can call me what they want to. My name is Mays.
Yeah, blacks don't care about being called racist. They're proud of being called racist. I wish whites were that way too. Whites, you need to be proud when you're called racist because it's just a dumb accusation.
So now let's get back to this Supreme Court stuff.
All right.
This Supreme Court had nothing to do with the court. It has to do with state rights.
Exactly.
As I say, that and y'all with those beards, walking around with those beards and stuff, trying to hide. There's a secret to those beards. So you got friends tell you stuff. Not just like, and William, he need to sit down somewhere, take a deep breath, get rid of his hatred that he got from women. Stop being a DBM, a deadbeat man. That's what I'm going to call those people. I'm not going to be calling them a beta. They are a deadbeat man.
Wow.
Never had no respect for no woman.
I don't get why you're calling him a deadbeat man because you think that he hates women?
Just because of the way some of the things that he say, he's a deadbeat man.
What does deadbeat mean? Explain.
A deadbeat man, just like a deadbeat dad.
Deadbeat dad does not exist. There's no such thing.
They don't care nothing about their children. They don't care nothing about nobody but themselves.
No.
William could be mad. He could be mad.
That's ridiculous. You're projecting.
Get a backbone and be a man.
Hold on, Mays. I think you're projecting.
What?
You're projecting. You're claiming that he doesn't care anything about
I'm just telling
people.
You the truth.
Whatever.
I always got to put women down. Can't find nothing good to say about him because he hated his own mama. That's not our problem.
You don't know anything about him.
Somebody's supposed to hate their mama. When people got to hate their mother, they are deadbeat men.
Whatever, Mays.
So you have a good one, James.
All right.
So I had to give my opinion on what I think. This is statehood and everything that's statehood.
So you're fine with the Supreme Court doing this then, huh?
I don't care.
Nice. You don't care about much, do you?
Why am I supposed to be losing my mind? See, because who do you
only care? You only care when black men or white men or white women.
If black women are having abortions, the way y'all looking at it and the way y'all hate black people, y'all wouldn't care. Y'all be jumping up and down, having a good time.
Not
true.
But
when you see these people screaming and hollering, and not us, you need to look at the ones that really having a problem with it. But
what you have a problem with, Mays, if you will stop interrupting me. What you have a problem with, Mays, is when...
I have a problem with
Mays, I just said, if you will stop interrupting me, and then you interrupted me. What the heck? What in the world? Sorry, kids, don't say heck. You have a problem with, seemingly, any black man or white man or woman who talks about black people negatively.
No, I don't have a problem with that.
How come you call in every single time that happens?
No, I have a problem with people that can't look at their own people doing the same thing that they're trying to accuse other people of doing.
That's what I'm trying to say. Then you're the one who doesn't look at yourself, looking at you.
You got CWPs trying to help people out. But
and what are CWPs?
Y'all need no help. You know what they're Caucasian white people. You know what it means. But anyway,
CWPs,
like
Caucasian white people.
Because you always want to tell them, but you can't. You can try to give advice, but you can't take advice. That's what I call. I try to give you advice.
Can you take advice, Mays?
To let you know that black people are not trying to get you, and white people are not trying to get you.
Can you take advice?
Because what?
Can you take advice?
Yes, I do.
Slow down. We've been advising you to slow down, slow your talking speed down.
I'm going to say this slow. My advice is get to know the people that you hate so much and realize why you hate them. It's called state rights. Why do y'all want state rights? That's what I want to know.
Well, for one
why
thing,
you want it back?
Centralized power is more easily corruptible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm saying, what is state rights supposed to do for you all since y'all want it? See, when you had it, you didn't do right with it. That's why they had to change things and go to Fed.
What are you talking about? What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong with states' rights?
The way they were doing people.
What did we do wrong with states' rights?
Just like this stuff is you got the right, state rights for a woman can do with her body what she wants to.
That's not right.
Men can just do what they want to do with their body.
Because men aren't killing babies. Men aren't killing babies. Men are not killing babies, except for the male doctors.
They are killing them.
No, they're not.
When you can't. If you can't multiply, what are you doing?
That's not killing.
And you doing stuff that to not multiply. What are you doing? You're not
That's
making
wrong.
babies, so you must be killing them.
That's not killing. You're psycho.
What else do you call it? It's strange to me when a cop
It's
shoots a person
wasting
down.
life. It's wasting your life. God killed a guy for that, actually.
Oh, would you rather have firing squads like they used to have when they used to kill people? The electric chair. Are you for that?
I'm for either one of those. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to say. So you like abortion?
Nuh-uh.
You're not against it.
That's the difference
Because
between
life-
innocence and guilt, Maze.
No.
Kill the guilty.
A lot of innocent people
Kill
have
the
been,
guilty. Protect the innocent. Duh.
and having a lot of innocent people been killed.
You have a good day.
Yeah, you have one.
I
That's
don't
what
think
I'm
that a
trying
lot
to
of
say.
innocent people have been killed. No, that's propaganda.
Your DMVs got a problem. You need to go and do your silent prayer and get rid of your problem. DMVs do it real good, and God will help y'all.
DMBs? You mean DBMs?
When you get out of it,
You mean
light and go into the
DBMs?
darkness,
You mean DBMs?
yeah, DBM.
Yeah, you said DMB.
Well, you know what I meant. But anyway, when you get into
I gotta
that-
go, Maze. We've been
when you
rambling
get
too
there,
much.
and then you made it, and God will bless you. Because when you try to go through the pearly gates, you're gonna be kicked out.
All right,
Because
goodbye.
all of the things you did in the dark that will be in
Adios.
the light. On Judgment Day.
Gotta
'cause I
go,
can't do
Maze.
it. Have a good one, James.
You too. Bye. She's talking about the pearly gates. What in the world? Was that too long? Let me get to B, a caller in Florida. B, is it B? The letter B,
Yep.
B in Florida?
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, you must have worked out your beta back to deal with her. She wore me out.
I know. She's a motor mouth Maze.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was just calling about the abortion thing. So I've been struggling for a little while. I've been married for 13, 14 years now. We have 3 kids. I have 2 boys. They're both teenagers. And when my husband was in high school, he got his girlfriend pregnant, and his mom paid for her to have an abortion.
Wow.
And
so
yeah.
your husband's mother paid for your husband's ex-girlfriend or whatever she was to get an abortion.
Yeah.
How did you find out about this?
I knew about it.
Did he tell you or something? Or somebody else
Yeah.
told you?
I think he told me about it. It was kind of one of those things that everybody knew about.
Oh, okay. Wow.
you
And
know?
everybody was talking about it?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
They should people should keep stuff like that, quiet and be ashamed of it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So I've
at least
just been
have-
struggling with it. It's
this
especially
day?
since this Roe v. Wade stuff coming up.
So to this day it's bugging you, or it's reared up
Yeah.
again because it's playing on your mind.
Yeah.
Wow, you doing JLP's silent prayer?
Not like I should. I know. Suffer and die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that
I'm really
incident-
trying not to judge them.
I know.
I'm trying so hard.
That's why you
Because I
shouldn't tell a woman about your past and your errors, because it's difficult for a woman not to judge. And what's funny is that has really nothing to do with you. It's so far gone. He probably has no contact with this woman.
No.
He
She's actually stalked us.
stopped you
She
guys.
drives by our house. Yeah.
Oh, she stalked. Oh, she stalked you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a mess.
I know. I blocked her on Facebook and all that good stuff, but
Wow.
yeah, it's
Oh,
tough.
man.
I'm trying so hard not to judge him. I just
Is he anything like that today, where he would be for that?
No.
Then,
no. He actually regrets going with her and paying for it. And
Wow. Are you guys in touch with his mother, your mother-in-law?
yeah,
You are?
yeah, she's a complete liberal. Like, we have
So
completely
to this day,
different views.
she's unashamed.
I haven't talked to her about that. I haven't talked to her about that situation, but I mean, she's completely feminist, liberal, like pro-abortion. Like, we have completely different views.
But you don't talk to her anymore, do you?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I do.
So your children are around her a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I know. And I
What's
have
your husband say about that?
boys. So I've gone and forgiven my mother, and I've told him about it, and I've told him about JLP, and he's kind of in the middle. I don't know what to do. I'm trying not to push it on him. You know what I mean?
I mean, he was raised by a liberal woman. You got to cut him some slack.
I know.
Have you talked to him about your falling to temptation to judge him?
Yeah, I've actually cried to him about it.
What's he say?
It hurts.
It hurts
He
who?
He regrets it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine. Like, I have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, and I'm sorry.
I thought you said you had 3 kids?
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that part. I was distracted, I guess.
We do everything we can to, like, be there for our boys and make sure that they understand what's going to happen. I don't know. They don't have the opportunities that we had when we were growing up to get into trouble, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, nice.
Wow,
that's a switch. That's different. Most of the
Yeah.
time, kids have more opportunities today than like ever.
So if it were to happen, like, I would be there to raise my grandchildren if I had to.
Oh, you're talking about that type of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids aren't really having sex as much anymore.
They don't have those opportunities, though.
Yeah. Well, you should be done with it. You know, I mean, I think you know that you should be done with it. He regrets it. It's in the past. He wouldn't want you to kill his kids by you.
I don't think he would.
This has got to be like 20 years ago, at least.
Yeah. It might have been 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long time, but it's still, like, it bothers me that, like, he was there when it happened.
Well, but that's just in your imagination, that's just Satan talking to you. You know that.
Right.
Because he's a different person now. Even if he's still, like, not on board with what you've found with Jesse Lee and all that, the less you do, the more likely he is to come around, I think.
Okay. So just let it go?
Yeah, definitely. If you want more advice, do call Jesse Lee's either radio show if you want to talk it publicly, but maybe in private counseling. Mm-hmm. You know, Bond offers counseling either by phone or by Skype. So before we even moved to Florida, you could get one-on-one counseling, or if your husband is open to it, 2 couples counseling or whatever you want to do. Over Skype or over the phone, you can call the Bond office.
Are you guys really coming to Florida?
That's the plan. I don't really count my chickens before they're hatched, so
right.
I kind of believe things when I see them, you know. But that's the idea. Our plan is to find a place. We've been looking, or people have been looking, and once we find a place and make a deal, then we plan to move. I
was actually in California when COVID went down.
Wow. Living here or just visiting?
Just visiting. My husband was working out there.
Nice.
Yeah, we went to we were in Disneyland, and all of a sudden we got a Fox News alert, like, Disneyland's closing.
Wow.
Like, oh, my God.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so let it go. Do the silent prayer. Don't judge them.
Yeah, and then when those thoughts of judgment come, just as JLP has been saying, I don't know if you catch church with Jesse Lee Peterson. But as he's been saying, those thoughts aren't you. And the judgment, it's not you judging. It's Satan's possessing you. And so you think that it's you, but it's not you.
Yeah. He's a good daddy. I mean,
nice.
He's a good husband. He's a good daddy. He loves his kids. Just thinking about it hurts my heart.
Yeah. Because, well, that's just emotions in all honesty. That's not even real. That's not even like righteous pain. You know, this is part of my problem with pro-life women is they have like this emotional fight against abortion because it's sad, it's tragic and all that stuff. It's killing a little baby, and it's innocent, and it's so wrong. But that's not from God. He wouldn't be making you feel that way. That's not how he deals with it.
Yesterday doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Thanks, James. I appreciate it.
All right. I wish you well, B. And call again sometime.
All right.
But do check out,
you.
it's, you know the number to the bond office, 800-411-BOND?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Or rebuildingtheman.com/counseling if you need extra advice or input.
Okay.
Because JLP is an expert.
Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, B.
I love JLP.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye. Lisa over there on Facebook says, counseling from JLP, but JLP detests women. Question mark. No. What the heck? He just speaks like a man about women. Just the truth. Shout out to the Facebook crew. Willie Powell says, just relax, lady. All is well. Nice. Yeah. Had nothing to do with you, says Doom Jesus. Indeed. Shall we listen to more madness about I'm chuckling at the chat. Shall we get into more madness about abortion? Speaking of abortion, Elie Mystal. Imagine if B were married to Elie Mystal. Be glad you're not married to Elie Mystal, who has a kid, by the way. Elie Mystal on Joy Reid. This guy's black, fat guy, white hair, wild hair. Looks like a black, fat Albert Einstein, but he's no Einstein. Although I don't know what Einstein was really like, but this guy is psycho. I got this from Breitbart. He says the founding fathers were racist, misogynist. Can I say this word? Jerk faces. Sorry, kids, don't repeat that. Who didn't believe women had rights. He's a justice correspondent, which is rich. This guy talking, a black radical talking about justice. Give me a break. For the far left outlet, The Nation, he's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show multiple times, like 2 or 3 times when I was producer. He said Tuesday on MSNBC's The Readout with Joy Reid, and you'll hear Joy Reid talking. This mess. Enjoy. It's 2 minutes of blacks for your enjoyment. Here it is. Clip 12.
And Elie, you know, I want to very quickly go through your reaction to the language itself. I'm not a lawyer, but I did read the opinion, the draft opinion last night. There's something about it was quite arrogant, in sort of saying, well, the law was always wrongly decided, which we've heard people on the right say for decades. I've been hearing, you know, this from the religious right since 2004. They've been saying it for a long time. But to put it in language that essentially made it sound as if women just aren't capable of doing this, that the states need to make these decisions for women. And I think we forget about Casey enough. People forget Casey, Planned Parenthood versus Casey. That's the one that said up until 1993, when that ruling happened, women had to ask their husbands for permission of what to do with their bodies. They had to have a man's permission. Essentially, you were a ward of the man you married.
Yep.
That is overlooked a lot, but that's also being thrown under the bus. Your thought about the decision itself?
Alito's fundamental legal reasoning is that abortion is not a fundamental right because it doesn't go back to the founding, because the founding fathers didn't recognize abortion as a fundamental right. And he's right about that. The founding fathers didn't recognize abortion as a fundamental right because the founding fathers were racist, misogynist jerk faces who didn't believe that women had any rights at all. So of course they didn't believe that women had rights to their own bodies. The founding fathers didn't believe that marital rape was a thing. Could it be a thing, according to the founding fathers, according to Sam Alito? So that's the history that Sam Alito is accessing. Look, either you believe that the founding fathers, in their infinite wrongness, were overcome by the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection to all people in this country, or you don't. And if you don't believe that the 14th Amendment guarantees women rights to their own reproductive system, just like a man has a right to his own reproductive system, if you don't believe that, then we are living in a situation where women have second-class citizen status. If you do believe that the 14th Amendment worked, then Samuel Alito's legal reasoning is laughable on its face and wrong.
What a psycho, huh?
Yeah.
That's Elie Mystal. And there was like this purportedly white, probably not a Christian, probably not a normal white female, wearing a 1973 sweater, a sweater that literally just says 1973. That's how excited she is about the Roe versus Wade, because that's when that decision happened. And then this Joy Reid woman, what kind of hair was that? Was that her normal? Was that her real hair? Joy Reid is a black over on LSD, hat tip Mark Levin, MSDNC, hat tip Donald Trump, saying that the Casey versus Planned Parenthood of Southeastern PA. I didn't know that men were nice. They should have to check with the man. So-called reproductive rights. Yeah, kill the babies. That guy tries too hard, I think. Elie Mystal. I question whether he's actually that passionate about the stuff that he's saying. It's a wig, says Big Bump. It's not her natural hair, apparently. It seems like it. Terrible. Phony Elie Mystal. Have rights at all to kill the baby. What sense does that make? It doesn't make much sense to me. He's impersonating Black Jefferson, says somebody else. Joy is a fat, ugly pig snout. Oh, sorry, kids. Should I have bleeped jerk faces? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't repeat it, though. Ridiculous. I wonder if I don't know if we've put out all of the Elie Mystal interviews. We've put one out from years back. Let me get to Jake, a first-time caller in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Jake, in Minneapolis, how are you doing? Are you there? Jake, going once. Jake, come off of mute.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. How you doing, Hake?
Doing well.
All right. Hey, just want to call in and kind of wanted your opinion. And I got a little bit of my 2 cents about this whole Roe v. Wade show. I guess I'm thinking a lot of it's still kind of like a horse and pony show. I mean, I think the timing's just kind of suspicious. You know, you got the elections coming up. Obviously, we still have yet to find out about the actual leaker. Obviously, the documents have been uploaded, saying it was done by the Samuel Alito. You know, it looks pretty legit. But at the same time, we still have yet to know who the actual leaker is. And if that leaker has some sort of legal bound to not leak that information, I mean, shouldn't we be focusing on the fact that this information was leaked in the first place, you know?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you heard Jesse's Experts segment yesterday on the JLP show, but we talked about that. The leaker, Chris said, should be in jail. Jesse Lee said that that the leaker's toenails should be pulled out. And it is wrong that they let people do this. And it's just showing the downward slide of the professionalism and the decency of the country. We have no we have no order or honesty in the country anymore, or holding to the rules. You're right about that. It's there's different speculation about who the leaker was. Some speculate that it may have been a Sotomayor clerk, but who knows?
I mean, it can make sense. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, obviously, this whole thing still, and there's a lot of emotions, but I think that's the main thing we should be on. No matter what side somebody's on, that's we should be focused on that.
I know it was pretty rich. I think I saw Chuck Schumer saying the Republicans leaked this, and they should not get away with leaking it. And he has no idea, but he's just making up wild accusations. I don't even really like feeding credence to anything until we know, but it's more a liberal thing, and if it was a conservative, that was not a conservative thing to do. To break. I think it probably is breaking of the law. It's definitely breaking of the policy. So it is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no truther or whatever, but I think the timing is really weird and whatnot, and I hope they find out the person.
Yeah.
Obviously, if everything goes right, I hope they strike it down.
Me too.
And then, I guess as a middle ground, leave it to the states. And that would make me, I would say I want to get out of the state. I'm not too fond of our politics here, but
Minnesota. Yeah. I don't blame you. But
the rest
maybe you can fight.
But...
Maybe you can fight and take back Minnesota. Who knows? Or maybe you'll be forced.
I've been trying, but it's an uphill battle. For sure. So,
true.
Well, I appreciate your call, Hake.
Well, thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. Take care.
Okay. Yeah. You too.
All right. Bye. Yeah, you can. Even if you're not in the majority, you can be a good influence wherever you are. I remember there was an archive Sunday service, guys, from last week that we put out. It would have been June 23rd, I guess, 2013. Jesse Lee, even back then, said your life is your platform. You don't need a big radio show or all these social media stuff. He's been saying it since before the social media bans, even before social media was as big as it is. He said your life is your platform. So you don't need to have this big radio show or TV show or anything. You have opportunities to be an example and spread the truth and be right all the time. There are so many opportunities that we're blind to. Mike Gibson says, Sotomayor was the same lady who lied over and over during the mandatory jab stuff. She said there were thousands of kids on ventilators. She said stuff that was not true. And she might have been the one who put out, or somebody close to her might have been the one to put out like Gorsuch or somebody who didn't want to wear a mask, and she wanted him to wear a mask. Wasn't there something like that? Some Trump judge and had a conflict with her, but then they said, no, that wasn't true. Who knows? Canadian David says, morality is greater than legalism. Take back Minnesota. Man. Before the break, let me play this cackling Kamala Harris. I have to. You already heard this on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Here is cackling Kamala Harris. I saw this from disclose.tv. I was thinking Discord, but it's not Discord. It's disclose.tv on their Telegram. Cackling Kamala Harris, the so-called VP, who is ineligible to be vice president, much less not even eligible to be senator, but she became senator from California. The most attractive attorney general of California, said Barack Obama before he apologized. Here's just 42 seconds of her saying, how dare they? Reminds me of a certain mentally ill Swedish child. How dare you? Listen to her mess.
Women would lose access to abortion immediately and outright. Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women, well, we say, how dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights and their freedoms?
Man, what a phony. She's trying to turn black preacher. And she's reading off teleprompters, I think. Insta-mute. A lot of people muted. Muted for the next 5 minutes. All right, guys, let's get to some music, shall we? That's phony cackling Kamala Harris. I never knew that she was so nasty. Such an ugly on the inside person. I thought that she was always fun-loving. Oh, I just love smoking pot. It just makes you feel good. Here is some frog eyes, though, everybody. You've all been begging for more frog eyes, have you not? Maybe not. This is track 8 on the album Ego Scriptor 2004. Our Lordship has devised a new billing system, and you may actually enjoy this one. It is not too long. It's less than 3 minutes long. Let's see, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So press mute if you have to, you musical Philistines, or cover your ears, grin and bear it. I'll come back and talk you through it. Hyena voices, Danny, yeah. Enjoy, and I'll be back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight. Frog Eyes, Our Lordship has devised a new billing system.
Look at his long suit, mud long. Let's ask his name today. Oh, the emperor of time. Look at that dog, it's a two-legged dog. Can he put his toys away? Oh, the emperor of time. Look at that lake, it's not right to steal cake. We do it all the same. Oh, the emperor of time. Look at that bike, it's her grandmother's bike. We stole it anyway. Oh, the emperor of time. His enemy of mine. The emperor of time. His enemy of mine. Oh, don't operate. Don't let your second, you'll find you feel right in your bed. And don't operate. The doctor's not fine, he's a patient. He's got one hand up his patient. And don't operate. Mechanical minds, 'cause they make you important for defense. And don't operate. Mechanical minds, 'cause they make you important for defense. And go swing, la la la, swing your arms and go swing, la la la, swing your arms.
So good, is it not? Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that wonderful music. Hake, I never consented to you molesting my ears like this, says Ledgeklinger. This music is giving me maximum cranial damage, says Dan East. Shout out to the Odyssey crew. I can see why this band broke up the first time, says Vicious. Yeah, Vicious is right for your name. I honestly can't tell if this is a troll or not. Can I sing you a song? Asks Pigger. This is a prison. Whoa, I can't say that. Nate Higgers, 42. He called it a prison legitimate rape scene. Except without the legitimate word in it. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that. Frog Eyes is cruel and unusual punishment, says Lord Colin B. Sounds like a cat in pain. Would love the Frog Eyes CD for target practice. I would never miss. Rick Glaze has an interesting comment on abortion. I'll read that to you in a sec. 9 Inch Nails, Hake style. This is really bad. The first Mumford & Sons song, Yodeling Eddie Vedder. Frog Eyes Soups. Bright Eyes Swallowed a Frog. Well, guys, I thank you for bearing with me through that. Some super chats? Any super chats? Rick Glaze did say that why they call it reproductive rights when the very thing that is produced is killed. Reproduced is killed. Nothing is produced besides the baby DNA that is not the mother DNA, so they want the right to kill another human being. Yep. Rick Glaze, yeah. They don't want to deal with the consequences of their actions. Sleeping around. So evil. Single mom with the super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Not once have I seen Kamala speak with such confidence and conviction this entire presidency until now. No shaky, wavering voice. Yeah, I know. No pause for awkward laughter. She was passionate about the thought of killing those babies. Guess J6 ran out of juice. Yeah, January 6th, they with their phony outrage. Mr. Hectic says, Hake, are you trolling us? Be honest. It was funny at first, but now it's just cruel. No, I really like Frog Eyes. But yeah, that's right. That's right. I've never heard her talk so loudly. I don't know. Everything about her seems phony to me. Kamala Harris. Tex-Mex says, that was the best song of theirs that I've heard, though. Nice. Yeah, it's a great song. Joyful Noise. Indeed, I am wearing a Joyful Noise t-shirt. I don't think that they put out Frog Eyes, but it is a record label. They're not Christians, though. They're not Christians. That's just a hint. So I just like the t-shirt. Their values are the opposite of actual values. Terrible. But thank you guys. Thank you once again. Hake music, not fake music. And as of 2015, just by the way, as of 2015, Urban Cure, estimated that more than 19 million black babies had been aborted since 1973. So that was as of 7 years ago, 7 years ago, 19 million. So certainly by now it's, let's see, they kill about 1 million a year, a little bit less than 1 million babies a year. And out of that million, maybe a third are black babies, something like that. So 1 million a year times 6 times 1 divided by 3, 2 more million, at least 20, I would say at least 21 million black babies been killed since 1973. 66 million was what babies total killed since 1973. That's more, somebody said that's like 11 times the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. Yeah, so I said abortion is worse than the Holocaust, and some Jewish guy who's like a friend of mine, Facebook friend, liberal, said, you can't say that. What a mess. I remember listening to Dennis Prager, who said it is qualitatively different to kill a baby in the womb than it is to kill a human being who already has like some memories and relationships going and stuff like that. It's a different situation, which I guess it's a different situation, but you're still playing God. I decide who lives or dies, say the women. Oh, if not, we're second-class citizens. Get out of here. Don't worry your pretty little heads. I almost said stupid, but I don't want to set a bad example for the children. How dare you? I almost grabbed that clip of Greta Thunberg, who is worrying her pretty little head Is it pretty? I don't know. About the going mentally ill, about the climate change propaganda. Children are going nuts about that stuff because they're brainwashed to fear it. Ridiculous. Anyway, let me get to Bobby in Texas. He's on the line. Bobby in Texas, how are you doing?
Doing well. James, how are you doing, man?
Doing well. As well, thank you.
So, real quick, let's go ahead and fact-check Mays. So, she claims he let thieves out of jail, and she brought up Kushner. What was Kushner in jail for?
The Kushner, the daddy, right? Jared Kushner's father.
Charles Kushner. Yeah, Charles.
I don't know.
He was in jail for giving money to Democrat political campaigns, and he was fined. I think it was like $500,000, and he served his time. He was sentenced to 2 years. He was convicted and sentenced to 2 years of prison. Served his time. Was pardoned in like 2020, long after he had been out. And I believe Trump said like he had been like rehabilitated, reformed, and was given to charities and things of that nature. So like it was unauthorized contribution, similar sort, not quite as like light as the Sousa.
Okay, I was going to ask.
The Sousa's was more like an accidental type thing. I think he was deliberately giving money to the Democrats, but it was from his partnership, like his law firm.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't know where she's coming up with this thief thing. I guess like sort of maybe from his own law firm.
Yeah.
But what I was mainly calling about was
Thank you for that correction. Thank you for the correction, man. Because I have no idea. I can't keep up with all the different stories that she rattles off and chases. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, she likes to bump those gums. But so I called. Like my main thing was, this is my bad take for the week. Like I kind of feel like the Democratic Party is kind of done with the black voters. All that's left really for them, they've promised them everything and never delivered. You know what I mean? I think they've run out of things to promise and give to the black voters. All that they are at this point is that, you know, racism is all they can really use them for. So I think they're kind of the Democratic Party is moving over and trying to like use the Hispanic vote and like things like DACA and things of that nature to try and reel in the Hispanic vote. And that's why they're paying no attention, you know, to the southern border and the amount of like illegals that are flooding the country.
Yeah,
they're going to use it.
The Hispanics now outnumber the blacks, and they have for some years now. Although they don't have 96%, 98% of the Hispanics like they do the blacks, but you're right.
And it's why they're not willing to give them citizenship, these illegal citizenship at this point, because they need that carrot, you know, to kind of dangle out in front and to keep them where they want them, and to like, oh, you're a DACA recipient, yeah, like you better vote for us, or you know, tell your friend, people to vote for us, or when the Republicans get in, they're going to turn it all over and deport all you guys. So you got to, you know, keep on coming to us, keep voting for us, and we'll, you know, extend that. And then when we get, you know, total and ultimate control of everything, then we'll give everybody citizenship.
Yeah. They are.
But it feels like
they're definitely targeting the Hispanics and I don't know that anything victim-minded, they're for it. Anything degenerate, they're for it. The Democrats.
I saw that guy. I think he's on I want to say he's on MSNBC, and he was talking about kind of softening the blow of the black voters not voting for the Democrats in the upcoming elections. It's like, I think that they were trying to like kind of set it out there like, so it's not a big surprise when all these black people don't continue to vote, but they've used up all of their collateral or everything that they could like offer, because they never give them anything. It's always promises with no delivery, and I think they've run out of things to promise at this point.
I don't know, man. The lies are endless, and the bribery, the greed of human beings, including blacks, is, there's no bottom to it. But they do kind of seem to take blacks for granted, I guess. I don't know.
That's the way it seems to me, is that there's just like kind of that moving of the chain. There's like, we're not getting, anywhere. And they're a smaller point of the vote at this point. So they're like, let's just focus on the Hispanic vote.
Yeah.
Get those people on the, on our side. And then once we get, that control, we can just citizenship all these people, and then it's over. That's why they're just ignoring that border and just allowing that flood of people in, and it doesn't come up at all in any reports. Nobody talks about it. When they get asked questions, they just kind of dodge it, move around, and go to the next question.
Yeah, it's a big mess. We don't really have a country anymore. It's a shame.
Well, that's my bad take for the week, there, buddy.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Bobby. Asmodor says with the super chat, D'Souza's crime wasn't accidental. He gave multiple donations in the maximum amount, I think that's 10 grand or something, for one person and several people's names, multiple different people's names, to Wendy Long's Senate campaign. Long was a Republican. Bad takes, Bobby. Strikes again.
Yeah. So I was under the impression, I haven't really looked into D'Souza, but I was under the impression he had only given a few thousand.
I think it was
over the limit.
I think it was, I think he gave 3 donations of 10,000, as I recall, something like that.
Good to know.
But he did it on behalf, in the names of some friends of his and himself, because you can only do so much as an individual. And so he did it under their names. And I think that people do that all the time. But, D'Souza, he's not a normal American. He's a foreigner. And a lot of those foreigners, even the Republicans, even the Christian foreigners, including the Armenians and all of them, they like to break the rules. And that's one thing that we whites do not like, rule breaking. But you're right. Obama, well, I don't know if you said this, but Obama was very picky choosy with when and how to enforce the law, the so-called law, right? So what a mess.
And that was in like 2004, so that was probably that's probably why he suffered.
Oh, he did that way back in 2004? Wendy Long thing? Oh, yeah. I did not know that. It's funny. Well, they went after him because he did the 2016 Obama's America documentary and kind of exposed how Obama hates America, his mother hated America, his so-called white, not Christian.
Yeah, D'Souza did it, I don't know when. He probably did it in 2016, but it was Kushner did it in 2004. So that Kushner was probably under Bush, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So since he gave the Democrats illegally, they probably went after him there, and same as with D'Souza whenever he did it.
Esoteric is saying he did more than just that, but I'm not sure. More than just donating to Democrats illegally.
That's what he was sentenced for.
Yeah, that's what he was sentenced for?
That's what he was convicted and sentenced for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Just count on Mays not to tell the whole story or even be quite accurate.
Exactly.
Biased sources for sure.
He wasn't involved in a Ponzi scheme as far as I can tell. So
okay.
That would be the idea of what she was trying to push.
Esoteric says, I don't know if he's referring to Kushner, tax evasion and witness tampering. I don't know if that has to do anything to do with daddy liberal Kushner or not. But anyway, I appreciate it, Bobby. Good to hear from you.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a good day, man.
You as well. Take care. I have another super chat from Single Mom, I believe it is. Yeah, Single Mom says, Hyena Harris is phony. This is a follow-up after she said she's never heard Kamala speak with such, Kamala Harris, that is, with such confidence and conviction about killing the babies, right? And then killing the babies. No shaky, no wavering voice. Hyena Harris is phony, Single Mom says, which I agree, which is most likely the reason behind her laughter and trembling voice When Willie Brown introduced her to the actual world of politics, it suddenly became more of a strain on her conscience than simply being involved with married men. It's easy for her to cross the moral boundary with the married men since she had learned to live with it. However, consciously lying, backbiting, and having people constantly call her on it with no consequence probably weighs on her. Maybe so. Yeah, her father is a liberal, dumb academic, as I recall, but he is a Jamaican with a little bit of honor. He does not appreciate her feeding that Jamaican, what is that? That Jamaican stereotype of the pot smoking. Because she's all, oh yeah, of course I smoke pot. I'm Jamaican. Did she say that? I don't remember. But he did not appreciate her being all shameless about the pot. He's old. He's a little bit older school. Her mother was Indian, or is Indian. Like Indian? You know who else is Indian? J.D. Vance's wife. Maybe she's an anchor baby. I don't know. I am going to try to get to her and him. J.D. Vance, that Trump guy. But first, let me cover a little bit more from this abortion mess. I was looking on the NextDoor app. You know how I mentioned the NextDoor app? You can find out. Oh, by the way, this is funny. Chris gave me this this list of reasons for abortions, and it was from Joel Davis Telegram, or maybe Joel Davis Telegram. Probably Joel. Normal people pronounce it Joel. Blacks call it Joel. 0.001%. The pregnancy resulted in an incestuous relationship, from an incestuous relationship. 0.001%. 0.065%. The woman's life was endangered by the pregnancy. 0.085%. Not even 0.1%. The woman was raped. Quote unquote. 0.288%. The woman's physical health was threatened by the pregnancy. 0.294%. The woman's psychological health was threatened by the pregnancy. Oh gosh. 0.666% was the serious fetal abnormality. Interesting. And 6.27%, the woman aborted for social or economic reasons. And 92.3%, no reason. Why are you getting the abortion? No reason. Elective. 92.3%. And then 6% social or economic reasons. And then the whole rest are less than 1%. Incest is not even 1/100th of 1%. It's 1,000th of 1%. Wow. Life endangered, not even 1%. Not even 1/10 of 1%. Rape, not even 1/10 of 1%. Crazy, huh? Anyway, let me read this to you from NextDoor. Thank you, Chris, for the tip. I shared that in my Telegram, the Hake Report on Telegram. I was reading on NextDoor app because I saw this notification from one Irene lady over here in this part of town, Los Angeles. The NextDoor app is for, hey, watch out, there's a suspicious person who keeps on sleeping on my porch. Yeah, that actually happens over here in Los Angeles. Being homeless on like a porch, the front porch of somebody. I actually saw that. But anyway, this Irene lady, and I use the term loosely, posted on NextDoor app, today is a sad day for our country. A 50-year law, it's not a law, protecting a woman's right is about to be repealed. For me, this is one of the most important issues for any candidate. I will let you do your own research, but for me, Rick Caruso's role, Rick Caruso is this guy who is running for mayor as a Democrat here in Los Angeles, businessman. He might have been a Republican in the past, probably a RINO. I don't know how you run as a Democrat here. I guess you have to. Rick Caruso's role in supporting this effort makes him a terrible candidate for our mayor. And this Michael Simp says, we 100% support a woman's right to her own body. Just imagine for a second if, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. If it were those men's, I don't know, something like that. Caruso opposes a woman's right to choose? Thank you for this information. I am voting for Karen Bass, which is a little afro-wearing evil black female whom Jesse Lee Peterson has debated. Dang, ditto. I was torn because I liked that Karen Bass was a prominent George Floyd Justice in Policing act, says this Rita woman. Another woman named Rita. All these women worrying their little heads about politics. George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. Ridiculous, huh? Rick Caruso promised to clean up the homelessness, but that's not good. What are these people thinking? Oh, Rick Caruso for mayor. Don't vote for him for mayor. He may not be as rabidly pro-killing babies as Karen Bass is. What does the mayor of a city have to do with killing babies anyway? The heck? I was considering Caruso, but not anymore. Seeing a bunch of men who are old or living in the past deciding what's best for women's bodies is depressing, says this Eric person. These are my neighbors. What the heck? So-called neighbors. How about they make it illegal for a man to... I can't read that out loud. Says Linda out of WeHo. West Hollywood. Because really, look at how many millions of potential babies they are killing. This sounds like Maze. These are sad and scary times. Half the states have enacted laws to immediately make abortion illegal, including incest and rape. I care about all women, says this Irene, the first poster on NextDoor app. No, you don't. While I agree about California, this is not the time to be calm. Somebody said, now is the time to be calm. And nothing has happened yet. Supreme Court doesn't make an actual decision until June. And then it'll be left up to the states. Nothing is happening in California, much less Los Angeles. Give me a break. This is a call to action. We must be heard, or this was only the beginning. Next will be marriage equality. Then what? Marriage equality doesn't exist. That's them pretending that same-sex marriage is a real thing. This is a sad indictment, says this guy named Tony, or maybe a gal named Tony, Tony, of our country. Neo-fascism and evangelical Christian nationalism has infected the GOP. Wow, I wish. These views are extremist. Might be normal in Afghanistan. Oh, if Afghanistan's a Christian country, huh? Evangelical? The GOP claim to be the party of freedom, but they sure do like to make a lot of rules. They will ban everything eventually except guns. What a mess, huh? I remember reading this psycho thing on Telegram, on Nick Fuentes' Telegram and on Asmodor's TKR official Telegram of this purported rabbi saying, F Christians! For 2,000 years you guys have been doing your genocide. I don't know what that has to do with killing the babies. Forget you! Except he didn't say forget. There was this blue checkmark woman, Amanda Duarte. I think I got this from TKR official on Telegram. I do wonder how these white supremacist lawmakers would feel if their little white daughters were raped and impregnated by black men. Oh my gosh. She said that, right? And then she said, I said something really insanely awful and stupid on Twitter last night. The intent does not matter, so I will not attempt to defend or explain it. It was racist, and it has had racist impact. I am terribly sorry for saying that black men rape white daughters. Facts. She's sad for telling the truth. I am terribly sorry to anyone who read it and who were hurt by it. I deleted my account briefly because I wasn't sure of the right thing to do. I knew it wasn't and isn't there try to answer for what I said. I know a lot of people are angry and looking to tell me why I'm reactivating it because I think it is important. Please know that I am deeply, deeply sorry for admitting that blacks rape whites more than whites rape blacks. And that fathers don't appreciate daughters interracially marrying, for the most part. Sensible ones, anyway. It's traditional ones, anyway. If there's anything I can do to repair the damage, please let me know. Thank you. Please stop having white children. Perhaps the hardest truth of all to accept. These are others of her tweets. November 2021. Please stop having white children. Terrible, huh? You are white, fragile, cold, and you clump together to... This is purportedly a white woman, although I hear that she's not a normal white. I think she's Jewish, she said. You are white, fragile, cold, you clump together to obstruct the forward motion of things. Who are the snowflakes? Straight white men, why are you here? Get your people. Friends, the entire anti-abortion movement is about white supremacy. More white women have abortions than any other group, and they need those babies to grow up and be trained to be racist voters, or they're gone. I am so deeply bone-tired of white male power. I am just so sick of looking at angry white men. Stop electing white men until we can figure out what's going on. Pretty funny. I like that meme. But no, we need to elect more white men. But J.D. Vance, I mean, what do we have to choose from? If you are a heterosexual white man, please self-deport from my mentions. What a mess, huh? And it goes on and on and on. You can also follow JLP Talk on Telegram. It's an excellent little platform there. Telegram. It's a Russian platform. And meanwhile, is May Mental Health Awareness Month? May is many things months. The big M month, which is evil. But I saw this billboard. I was walking around the neighborhood out here, recording different, I walk around the neighborhood at Bond. I keep my eyes peeled, though, for snakes and black on white crime and homeless. But I record my Subscribe Stars. I am on Subscribe Star and record little exclusive content, a little bit more personal, a little bit. So subscribestar.com/The Hake Report. You can check it out. Support Hake and get a little bit of bonus exclusive content. But I saw this billboard, yellow billboard, pink lettering, treat yourself like someone you love. And it's from Mad Happy. And it has the yin-yang symbol, the two whales going around each other. Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2022. Boy, isn't that a depressing sign. Wonder if that helps. Before that, this very billboard had a picture. I'll have to dig it up because I don't have it with me right now. But it had a picture of Oprah Winfrey. And it was it was one of those things like, be a positive change in the world or something like that. This woman hasn't done anything to support what's right. Oprah Winfrey? Give me a break. Fear MJ says, Hake, you've never been attacked by a black. That's right, because I never relax. I stay aware. Lord Bibby 42 says, Hake's Subscribe Star is off the chain, y'all. Well, that's kind. Thank you, Lord Bibby 42. Is that it? Oh, yeah, Antifa was in... Another little abortion thing. Antifa was in Portland rioting, according to Andy No. By the way, Roe versus Wade is not a law. It's not a law. It was a decision, a faulty decision. Antifa rioted in Portland over abortion. They gathered in front of the federal courthouse 2 nights ago and created a mini autonomous zone with blockades. At night, they smashed up buildings, businesses, and started fires, according to Andy No. And he shared a video posted by Stan Pulliam. They are the real, Antifa are the real insurrectionists. As organized and pre-announced on Twitter, Antifa destroyed property and started fires in Portland 2 nights ago as their pro-abortion direct action riot. They call it direct action. Like a gang, they talk now about discarding the clothes they wore while carrying out the crimes together. I doubt this needs to be said, but it's probably time to go shopping for new clothes. Black is great, XD. Says these people, Antifa people. I, for one, think it's fantastic that people can protest and support a thriving economy via window replacement services because they destroy windows. They break windows. Antifa, bunch of punks. Beta punks. So, let me tell you about some censorship agitators, shall we? And you can call in 888-775-3773. But I want to share with you a couple of different little profiles. One of them is this not morally straight guy, just an evil person, a sicko, a total sicko. This is from Fox News, March 2019. Media Matters boss, this guy got in trouble. He's calling for censorship of Twitter. On Twitter. Angelo Carusone. Media Matters boss blames being bullied as a kid and satire and right-wing blowhards for his past hateful comments. This is a Angelo Carusone. You guys ever heard of Angelo Carusone? He's like the president or CEO or something of Media Matters for America. Really, Media Matters against America. And Media Matters, if you don't know, are one of the people who pushed out this letter. And I told you about this letter in Hake News at the end of hour 1, I believe, of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Yeah. Elon Musk tweeted, "Who funds these organizations that want to control your access to information? Let's investigate." And he shared an article from Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. Brands should force Twitter to uphold content policies under Musk, advocacy groups say. Who indeed? Indeed. Says, yeah. And it's this article by this Brian Fung guy. Fung. Not fungi. But maybe Brian Fungus. No, I'm kidding. It's this Asian guy who's writing for CNN promoting this. Some of the nation's biggest brands include... Look at that guy. He looks like he's cheerleading for censorship. Asian guy named Brian Fung. A so-called reporter. No, you're not a reporter. You're an activist. Agitator. Working for CNN. Pushing censorship on Twitter. He's promoting this letter. Some of the nation's biggest brands, including Coca-Cola, Disney... Look at that guy. Not morally straight. Morally straight, by the way, I got that from the people who are no longer morally straight. The brands should force Twitter to censor more, say advocacy groups. The Boy Scouts used to have to be morally straight. No longer are they morally straight. That's where I got that. But this guy writes, or his editor writes, some of the nation's biggest brands, Coca-Cola, Disney, Kraft, facing calls to boycott Twitter if the company's soon-to-be owner, billionaire Elon Musk, that's right, he's not quite owner yet, rolls back content moderation policies limiting hate speech, election misinformation. Hate speech, no such thing. Election misinformation is promoted mainly by CNN and these commie capitalist corporations like Twitter formerly, Facebook, YouTube, Google. Remember there was a Google employee who said, "Hey, stop the Zoom stuff, please." That one was Chris. The zoom in on that guy's face, you know, the washed up competitor of mine, Howard Stern. That was me. But anyway, CNN and their activist friends, you know, A Google employee said, we can't have another 2016, maybe meaning he doesn't want the people to elect Donald Trump again. In a letter sent to brands Tuesday ahead of the 2022 New Front's digital advertising conference, more than 24 civil society groups. No, they're far-left radical activist groups. Enemies of America. Civil society groups. Where do these people get this language? Brian Fung said marketers should secure commitments from Twitter to retain its most critical policies, including civic integrity and hateful conduct, and threaten to withdraw funding if Twitter does not comply. As top advertisers on Twitter, your brand risks association with a platform amplifying hate, extremism, health misinformation, and conspiracy theorists, a letter said. Trying to scare them, right? Intimidation letter. Your ad dollars can either fund Musk's vanity project or hold him to account. Meanwhile, if they didn't comply, I bet you they'd do fine. I bet. This is intimidation. Tuesday's Bear Initiative, it's a letter, bears echoes of a far-reaching advertising boycott in 2020 that saw companies ranging from Adidas to Starbucks, far-left outlet Starbucks, far-left enemies of America Starbucks, commie capitalists, pulling their ads from Facebook over what they said were failures to keep hate speech from spreading. Yeah, the real problem on Facebook is hate speech. Give me a break. No, it's not. So Elon Musk is the Tesla CEO, SpaceX founder, South African man, 50 years old, pledged to restore free speech. We'll see what that means on Twitter, and ease up on content removals and account bans, and authenticate all real humans, which means you will not have your anonymity, which is valuable. But he's getting rid of that. In the name of fighting against bots, I guess. Give me a break. Who cares? Bots. Who cares? They can preemptively protect themselves from any damage to their brands, says Angelo Carusone. This guy's a piece of work. He is not straight in any way. Not morally or in any other way. Angelo Carusone, CEO of Media Matters. What is that, Italian? See, I told you those Italians, they got problems. We've had problems with Italians in America. Let's just say that. Sorry, Italians, I love you. You know it. You pale in comparison to the problems brought by others. Okay, all right. CEO of Media Matters Against America says they, meaning these commie capitalist corporations, can preemptively protect themselves from any damage to their brands resulting from Musk's eventual takeover. And he's one of the organizations, Media Matters is, behind this letter. Media Matters has tried to take down Trump ever since like 2012, I want to say. Certainly since 2015 when Trump announced his run for president in June, I think it was. Media Matters tried to take down, I think they got successful, Bill O'Reilly. They went after Sean Hannity. And this guy is supposedly an expert on right-wing extremism. I got pictures of this Angelo. Maybe you don't even want to look at pictures of this guy. Angelo Carusone. Media Matters hates Tucker Carlson. So they're far-left extremists, enemies of America. These people are, and of Christians and whites. Other organizations spearheading the letter campaign. Look at that. Oh, yikes. Other organizations spearheading the letter campaign include the technology advocacy organization Accountable Tech. So this guy gathered a bunch of other people, and feminist group Ultraviolet, Center for Countering Digital Hate. Digital hate. No such thing. National Hispanic Media Coalition. Those Hispanics, there you go. And this guy blames bullying for his past so-called hateful comments. No, how about his hateful comments to this day? This evil person, Angelo Carusone.
To this day!
To this day, he hates Christians, hates whites, hates Americans, real Americans. Let me read some background on this guy. Did I finish that thing? We need to ban all these groups, though. Free Press is a digital rights group. Free Press, which is, look at that. Advocate article from 2015, 40 under 40. Top 40 under 40. I guess he was under 40 at this point. Maybe still. The man behind Dump Trump on why everyone should fight back. He says he was bullied. Advocate is a radical homosexual outlet, FYI. So this Carusone guy, he got in some trouble in 2019, 3 years ago? He told CNN's Brian Stelter guy, hat tip to Mark Dice, I grew up as the overweight gay kid in an all-boys school. Bullying/abuse was relentless and basically awful until one day I fought back and it stopped. That experience had a major effect on my trajectory in my life, especially the fighting back part. And this guy, he made an interesting point that you make it not worth their while to attack you. Maybe these people should make it not worth their while to be bullied by the victim-minded gay, radical homosexuals, Hispanic people who pretend like they're for free press. Poor guy was bullied. Tucker Carlson exposed this guy when he said, in its original tax application to the IRS, Media Matters, which I don't think that it was founded by this Carusone guy, Media Matters claimed that the American news media were dominated by a pro-Christian bias. Really? And that they were needed to balance it. Despite the obvious absurdity of this claim, Tucker Carlson said back in 2019 in March, I think, the group received nonprofit status. It has been violating the terms of that status ever since because they're politically motivated activists against America, against the real Americans. The Advocate that Advocate article that I showed you starts out, the man behind Dump Trump on why everyone should fight back. Sometimes what unites us is a common adversary. Take Donald Trump, for example. This is 2015, December. A few months after he said, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime. Donald Trump, the Republican frontrunner, has so far disparaged women, Muslims, Hispanics, and members of the media, and the list seems to grow with every news cycle. Nice. Thank you, Trump. If you ask Angelo Carusone, the gay man, there's no such thing as a gay man, male, who in 2012 started fighting back with a Dump Trump campaign aimed at Macy's, the billionaire is a bully, maybe the biggest bully. Carusone, 33 in 2015, has fought lots of right-wing bullies over the years with comprehensive campaigns, many of which succeeded, including one that helped drive advertisers away from Glenn Beck before he lost his Fox News show, and another against Rush Limbaugh over his antagonizing of Sandra Fluke and other women. Sandra Fluke was the slut, and Rush Limbaugh rightly called her a slut, and then he apologized. He should never have apologized, but he was losing advertisers. Who knows what all went on. Sandra Fluke said, the government should pay for my birth control. I spend $10,000 or $30,000, I don't know how many thousands of dollars a year or across her college career she spent on so-called birth control. Sandra Fluke. To this day, she's a shameless woman.
To this day!
Some of that activism is part of Carusone's day job as executive VP for Media Matters, the Watchdog website. Yeah, they're a watchdog website. No. But the Trump campaign he took on by himself. Terrible, huh? What a sicko. So, thank you for bringing that to our attention, Elon Musk. These are not Christians, to say the least. They're not men, not normal whites, not sensible people. Bullies build character, says Matt living the dream. Yeah. Yep. The quote-unquote bully problem is a sign of the decline of the country, of the families. Because the bullies are weak, and they are a bunch of victim-minded people. And the bullied are weak, also a bunch of victim-minded people. And let's not fall for it. In the last 10 minutes here, let me see if I can fit this in. J.D. Vance won his primary out of Ohio. He was endorsed by Trump. He's running as a Republican, 37 years old. He's going to save the white race. He's going to save America. No, I'm kidding. There he is. At least he grew a beard. Looks better with a beard, honestly. 37 years old. Married. 3 children. Look at that. Yeah, he needed a beard. There he is in 2017. But he's a bright young man, I think. Nice hair. I mean, I don't know about the hairstyle, but okay. Typical politician hairstyle nowadays. Except that it's not an afro. They're not white babies. This man's wife is Usha Chilukuri Vance. Chilukuri was her last name before she married him, I think. And she kept it as her middle name. Why are you guys doing that? By guys, I mean gals. She met him in law school, Yale Law School. Pretty lady, pretty. For an Indian, Indian. Her last name is Chilukuri. Origin seems to be Indian. First name Usha. They say it's the Hindu Sanskrit language for dawn. Look at that. India is the reddest area from which Chilukuri comes. And then America and Saudi Arabia. And then Canada and Australia, you know, these white countries. These Indians invading, taking over. Indians, not American Indians. And then also Asia and different parts of, scattered around Africa too. What? And South Asia. Anyway, this lady, she should have changed her name to Dawn because it's translated, Usha is translated to Dawn. But anyway, it's your life, lady. It's your wife, JD. This guy, let me tell, okay, they have 3 children now. Congratulations, that's nice, I guess. JD calls himself a Christian, a husband, a dad. What's up with these people, these politicians calling themselves a dad? Indians are very pretty, says Canadian David. Typical Canadian think that, but I guess it's true. But come on, we can't be doing that. Trump endorsed Senate candidate for Ohio. I told you in Hake News at the end of hour 2 that this guy was a Trump hater. He had previously texted, and I get it, he's young, and I get it, he was raised in a messed up family. Like he had his mother's 3rd husband's name for a while, and all kinds of mess went on with his life. I don't know. I can't imagine like growing up the way that he did. But he is a liberal, or he was anyway. He thought that Trump was going to be another Richard Nixon or America's Hitler. And this is a so-called Republican? If only. Was Nixon a bad guy? Was Nixon a bad president? I'm not convinced that Nixon was a bad president. I think that maybe he did some bad things. Trump did some things that were, I think, bad. But overall, Trump was an excellent president. Head and shoulders above the rest, as far as I can tell. By rest, I mean the ones in my lifetime. Although Reagan may have been okay, But there were some very faulty things that Reagan failed on, and they have long-lasting effects. Kind of like King David had some very, very bad failings that had long-lasting effects on his line over there in Israel, old Israel. He did some things that messed up life for people. Nixon was best, says Mr. Hectic, before Trump. Okay. Nixon was based. Author of Hillbilly Elegy, which I'm leery about that. I don't know much about this Hillbilly Elegy thing, but he wrote this book called Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and a culture in crisis. All right, that's nice. Yeah, I can see that we have a culture in crisis. He's like, was it around the Appalachia area? He's Scotch-Irish, this guy. And he's co-founder of a venture capitalist group called Nariya. What, is that another hat tip to your Indian wife? I don't know. But Hillbilly Elegy was made into a Netflix movie in 2020, directed by that Ron Howard guy. Is Ron Howard a Christian? I don't know. I'm distracted because I saw this from Matt Living the Dream, and it's pertinent. Nixon brought about the petrodollar and the EPA. The worst things that Nixon did. Petrodollar and the EPA. Yeah, I'm not for the EPA. That's evil. And the petrodollar, I don't know much about, but I've heard, you guys have educated me on different things. Reagan was going to end the Federal Reserve until the Bush family friend shot him. Then Reagan came in line. Wow, really? I know that he was supposed to end the Department of Education, which would have been nice. Reagan was going to, I heard that he was supposed to end the Department of Education. Anyway, back to J.D. Vance. Usha Chilukuri, an Indian American whose father came to the nation in search of a better life. I hate that line, in search of a better life. Whatever. From San Diego, California. Usha took 6 months off work. Come on in. You're here for a better life? Oh, okay. Come on in. Get out of here. 6 months off work to raise one of the boys. She had 2 boys and a little girl, I think. At least he had boys first. This J.D. Vance guy. They got settled in Cincinnati. Took 6 months off work. She's a working woman. She's a lawyer. She met him at Yale Law School. Oh, man. But I get it. I understand. Then she became an associate at the San Francisco and Washington-based firm Munger, Tolles & Olson, a position she holds to this day. According to her LinkedIn profile, she worked there 2015 to 2017.
To this day!
And then she landed a job as a law clerk for the U.S. Supreme Court. She worked for the RINO, Chief Justice John Roberts. This line is so funny. Yeah, look, that's them a couple nights ago. Or yesterday night, I guess. The primary. She's eating it up, and he's like about to become the senator, maybe, if he wins in Ohio. I personally actually hope he wins, to be honest. Even though I'm kind of, hopefully I'm just giving you some balance on this guy. Everybody got their weaknesses. And this guy is not so based, in my opinion. But we shall see. We shall see. This article, her kids, her husband, and her career are Usha's entire life. What kind of a line is that? Her kids, husband, and career are Usha's whole life. That sounds like too much, in my opinion. There they are, newlyweds. Nice looking couple, except I'm not a fan of this interracial thing, but I get it. A lot of people fall for it. You grow up that way. JD's, he's part Irish, guys. Those Irish He's Scotch-Irish. Indian American. Anyway. In JD's memoir, he wrote that Usha helped him realize that he had baggage. You resume? No! He has blue eyes, too. And then... Oh. There you go, the blue eyes. No more blue-eyed kids. FYI. That was recessive genes. In JD's memoir, that's that book that I mentioned, Hillbilly Elegy, whatever that means. These big words. He wrote that Usha, am I pronouncing it right? Usha, helped him realize that he had baggage from his tumultuous upbringing, even after he managed to achieve all his dreams. He had no idea of how to resolve the conflict, she said. He wasn't like his mother, who took to screaming and cursing. He withdrew completely. He feared becoming like his mother, but Usha made him see that all he had to do was talk to her and make her see his side of the argument. After all, they're a family. You can't just turn your back on family. This feel-good article. Anyway, that's that for that. Thank you guys for joining the Hake Report. Hope you liked it. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, Thursday, and maybe I'll see you at the beginning of the chat and the church archive stuff. This afternoon. Thanks, guys, and take care.